Well, hello. Greetings again. I wanted to finish off where I started earlier in the week about my 163-pound weight loss story, and I've had a bit of a rough week. A lot of spasms. Not that I had to resort to taking any of the narcotics or the pain pills, but the back spasm pills, yeah, and a lot of sleeping, a lot of napping. So it's been kind of a tough week. So I'm sorry, I apologize. Let me continue on to reflect back. Let me think, when was it? I think it was about 2015 is where it all started with the Octavia, like I call it, eating out of a UPS truck with the Take Shape for Life. Now they call it Octavia. And I have to laugh because there's this coach out here, Coach Nicole, Nicole Malone. Hey, Nicole. Hey, girl. Of the Dark Horse Nutrition. She did a spoof on what was the name of her? The name of the channel was Felicia Nurse, Lori on Felicia Nurse. And I used to watch her faithfully when I was on the Octavia. And watching Nicole, Coach Nicole, I think her YouTube channel is Former Fat Girl, I believe. But she did kind of a spoof onto kind of like how Bart Kay does the spoofs where he allows the person to talk and then he'll interject what the truth of the matter is. It's very, very good, Bart Kay's, and you got to check out Nicole's. Hers is pretty good too. But I noticed that she was doing the spoof on Nicole with Octavia. And then in a matter of what seemed like a couple of weeks, Felicia Nurse, the lady that does the Felicia Nurse YouTube, Lori's her name, she decided, hey, I'm going to get into more whole foods, real foods, get off of the Octavia business. And then before you know it, she was on carnivore. And then she went back again. Apparently she missed it, or her son's wedding was supposed to be, and she missed the fast weight loss that she said you get with Octavia. Okay. So those of you that know me, no, that ain't the way to do it. Now, in my time, like I said, I think it was 15 or 16 when I started, 2015 or 2016. The weight came off 50 pounds for me in about a year and a half. But I spent an awful lot of money, seriously, a lot of money. And the UPS guy just was my best friend. He'd be delivering my box of food, and it really looked like Barbie doll food. I have, this isn't food, but it was the size of this type of package would be the Take Shape for Life or Octavia food. You'd have this, mix it in a little square container, microwave square container, stirry, 2 tablespoons of water, and bammo, you have a meal. You have a brownie. Or take this same size and make it into a shake, and you got a shake, and you ate 4 of those, and then what they called one lean and green. So you'd have lean meat, lean whatever meat, and then a green salad. Well, the lady that got me involved in it, Luann was her name. I knew her from the title company because I was a realtor for a long time. That's, as a matter of fact, how I retired to move up north with a husband from real estate. We moved up here. She's the one that got me hooked on it. She contacted me and on and on and on, like all of the MLMs, multi-level marketing places do that. Oh, Jerry, I saw you here, there, or whatever. I've noticed you on Facebook. That's where it was. She contacted me on Facebook, and I noticed that she was polite about it, that you were talking about losing weight loss, or whatever. I've got a plan for you. So that's how I got started. That's how I started taking it. Well, before you know it, it got to be pretty expensive. Oh, I mean, so expensive to the point of it was more expensive than grocery shopping was. And the husband didn't understand, how are you eating these little Barbie doll meals and losing weight, and you're spending a lot of money and you're eating a small amount of food, and you really aren't losing the amount of weight like you would if you were to be dumped onto a desert island and to starve. So he got me thinking, not that I was going to be dumped on a desert island and starve, but I reflected back to the days my mother, God rest her soul, when she made, for lack of a better word, a pact with God. When she found out that her oldest daughter, my sister, Sissy, had diabetes, she said to God, God, if you allow her to live, I will fast in your honor, or do the novena every Friday. The novena is like a prayer that we used to go to church every Friday, and we did it all in Latin, and it was very rote prayers. I mean, you had the book, but after a while, I memorized all the Latin. It was very simple, and the church was beautiful, St. Anthony's. Beautiful, beautiful church. And we used to go there and do our Latin novena, and my mom would fast every Friday. So then I thought, well, there must be some kind of common sense to this, because not that I wanting to fast and starve myself, but I started inquiring as to other forms of weight loss. I was down 50 pounds, easy, with the Optavia, and I was real happy. I felt fantastic, but I still was over the mark. I started at 363 pounds. I was huge. I burnt. I remember videos doing on Facebook. At the time I did Facebook. I don't do Facebook anymore. I call it fake book, as a matter of fact, right now. Where I would come home from work after wearing my realtor clothes, super nice designer clothes, to work, which were too big for me. But I didn't care if they get messy or icky or what have you. I would just burn them. So I'd go home at night after working second shift, and I'd be in the backyard by the burn barrel, burning all the size 28s, 26s, 24s. I'd progressively burn through my entire closet of clothes. I didn't think to give it to somebody, because I thought, why should I give it to people and encourage, here, go ahead, be as fat as I was. I just thought that didn't make any sense, so I just started burning stuff. So I had told her that I was considering other options other than going through the Optavia site. And some other options would be on Marketplace. I think they call it Marketplace now, but it was a different name back in the day. So you could contact people, or people were selling things on this for sale site. And I noticed that I could, as opposed to me spending $400 a month for Take Shape for Life, otherwise known as Optavia, I could get it for $250, because the people I was buying it from, little did I know, they were getting out of it. They wanted to sell their stock, which may have been a little bit overmarked. The dates were real close to expiring, but they didn't. But I thought, I'm getting a heck of a deal. I don't care if the date's up close, because I'll be done with this in a month. So she got mad at me so much to the point, we were friends for 25 years and years and years. She got so mad at me, she took me off of Facebook, as they call it, unfriending me. Took me off of Facebook. I'm never going to talk to you again. I'm done with you, blah, blah, blah. If you can't buy all your products through me. Well, my first exposure to MLM. But in the meantime, I was watching more things. I started getting into YouTube and Audible and reading books. And I followed Dr. Jason Fung. Oh, actually, the first people that I found were two keto dudes, which was Carl Franklin and Richard Morris. I don't think that they do it anymore because Richard Morris got out of it to further his education in Australia. And then Carrie Brown, the lady that we all know that makes all the good, fantastic keto ice cream, she got into it. So it was Carrie Brown and Carl Franklin. So they were the two keto dudes, or a dude and a dudette, whatever. So I stopped watching them, and then I started listening to a lot of Jason Fung's podcast. And another person, which we all know, Kim Howerton. Hey, Kim. She got her start, I believe, through the two keto dudes. So when I see Kim now, I remember, golly, Kim, I knew you for years and years now, and I've been listening to you and everything that you've been teaching. And I decided, let me go keto. Let me try this keto program. Oh, wait a second. I missed a whole segment. Ay, chihuahua. I'm jumping the gun. I should have taken down notes. I apologize. After Octavia, I went back to that doggone Facebook again. And somebody, an old client of mine, they're a lovely couple. I think they're a lovely couple to this day. She contacted me and heard about me wanting to lose weight. So, of course, because she was in an MLM, Plexus Worldwide, she got me involved in it. So in 2017 was when I started taking the Plexus Triplex, the pink drink, their gut, I forgot all the verbiage. I used to have it down pat. All their gut microbiome health, and they even had carb blocking pills. Whereas if you'd eat a carb full meal, you can block your carbs by 30% just by taking carb block. Craziness. But I jumped on the bandwagon. I did all the Plexus stuff. I got on. I won contests. I lost weight. I lost a lot of weight. I got down to what was close to my goal weight. But then I reflected back to the Take Shape for Life Optivia days. And I said, this is another living off of a UPS truck business, except it's coming in form of pills and shakes, and a pink drink is making me lose weight. And the correlation was never there to count carbs. It wasn't there. And they didn't talk about it. And those people, and there were the, I don't remember what they're called. Silver's the first, then there's gold, something silver, gold, something gold above that, and emerald, sapphire, diamond, and now there's double diamond, and there's people that are taking wonderful cruises because their husbands have gotten into it. Now they're quadruple diamond family. It's all an MLM. And I got out of it because, again, I fell prey to the fact of the MLM. I was telling other people to buy the products to be able to lose weight just like me, because I kept doing it. I was busy working my full-time job, but they had the hopes and aspirations. Listen, if you only sell another $100 PV, personal volume, you'll be able to qualify for this trip or this vacation. And Jack and I went on several conventions, and I won a lot of prizes, and I made an okay amount of money, but I wasn't up to the caliber of the diamonds. Those coaches or those individuals that were diamonds or above my status, it seemed like they didn't want to help me, or they were just more interested in me contacting people like you to buy more pills, more pink drinks, yada, yada, yada. Keep making the corporations rich and the people above me rich, and not really giving a rip snort about, pardon me, about the fact that a keto diet, which watches your carbs and the amount of fat you're losing and the amount of sugar you're consuming and balancing it all out. I remember going to Plexus conventions. You guys will die hearing this. Going to Plexus conventions, and in our rooms, they'd give you boxes of candy. And when you'd have the convention, the banquet downstairs, the food was carb laden, but that's okay. Someone at your table was bound to have some Plexus, a carb block that you could take to block all the carbs you're going to eat. And then afterwards, after the big wigs had their big dinner, then they invited everybody in for a dessert bar, so that the big wigs, the diamonds and the sapphires and all the jewels, as they called themselves, could be able to hobnob with us little people. Wasn't that lovely of them? And when you hobnob, there were tables full of sweet things in little tiny containers, little mousses and what have you. Some were even marked as sugar-free. But we all know the type of sugar that they used in there. It wasn't the type of sugar it was artificial sugar. But if you wanted to indulge in the sugared stuff, go ahead, take a carb block. You're good as gold. It just got to be too crazy. It got to be too crazy because I'd be investing so much time away at the end of my day from my husband, from my family, from cleaning my house, from going to church, from doing all the things, because I was spending more time doing Plexus matters. So I had to put the brakes on that. I got my friend extremely mad at me. We're still friends on social media, but it's more of like acquaintances kind of thing. I think she's a lovely lady. I think her family's lovely. Her children are lovely. I knew the children ever since they were in her belly. And now Anthony's graduating from high school, for Pete's sake, for example. So for me, I'm not a MLM. Everybody sign up, buy this, try this, drink this shake, buy more product underneath me because I make more money type of girl. I'm just not. And I like what Dr. Ken D. Berry is doing right now with the American Diabetes Society, because diabetes had seriously affected my family. It affected my family so much to the point when I was 363 pounds. My then, at the time, cardiologist said, listen, if you don't stop doing what you're doing, you're going to end up like your grandmother, and you're going to lose the leg. You're going to end up like your sister and lose your kidneys, subsequently lose your life to diabetes. So I think people like the two keto dudes, even though they're probably defunct, but Carl Franklin and Richard Morris and Kim Harton are still out there with Carrie Brown. But I thank Dr. Jason Fung, because Dr. Jason Fung changed my opinion and absolutely changed my life by having me reevaluate the foods I'm taking. I know many of you people out there don't like to track, don't like to put your food down, don't like to state right or do the app of how many carbs and sugars or whatever it's taking. I like knowing that if I'm at 18 carbs for the day and my max is 20 when I was doing keto, that I didn't have to hit 20. I could hit 18 if I was full and go to bed. But now, with this back surgery and the healing with carnivore, primarily, for the most part, I have 99% meat-based products. Meat-based products meaning everything from an animal. Rarely will I have a vegetable, if any. You might see on my plate, for example, earlier this week I posted my carnivore little pizzas that I made, and I used a tablespoon of the Primal Kitchen tomato sauce, and everything else was meat at the top. 2 of those were so filling to me today. 2 of those little chaffles, 2 of the chaffles were so filling to me today that back in the day, a large pizza filled me up. Now 2 chaffles fill me up because I eat the proper formulation for my body. Eat the protein first. What saddens me is seeing, yes, members of my family, the stepdaughter, she does it. She takes the shot to lose weight. I don't know what she does. We don't discuss it. You can only do so much. You can only lead a horse to water, as they say. You can't make them drink. And if she sees this, she might be mad at me. I don't know. But I don't want her to hurt her health for as many other people. There was this lady called the Countess of Low Carb, and she interviewed Dr. Berry. This is back in the day when I first got involved with it. And I used to follow her. Well, doggone it. The Countess of Low Carb is now called the Countess of Shopping, and she is the Countess of take a jab to the stomach, kind of Ozempic girl, or whatever else. I forget all of these names, whatever these shots are doing that girls are taking for that quick fix. But the reality is the quick fix is affecting your muscle. That's where it's eating. It's eating your muscle. You can't say, I'm taking the shot, I'm going to go out and have a ice cream sundae. I'm taking the shot. It's okay. I'm gonna just take a shot. It's good. I'm gonna go out and have a splurge weekend, a girls weekend. We'll have girl dinner and it's just a weekend. It's on vacation. I'm gonna splurge. I've been that way before. I got myself down to 199 pounds into what they call Wonderland. So I went from 363 to 199, got in that range. And then I got cocky. And then I started going to Culver's every month when I do monthly shopping and have my 1 scoop. January turned out to be, that April rolled around, 2 scoops in a cone, a waffle cone. Then I had 3 scoops. I gained the weight back until I got up to 263 pounds, and I said, this is BS, Barbara Streisand. This is crazy. I'm 100 pounds away from being the 363 pounds that I was. Light bulb moment, ting, light bulb moment on the top of my head. I said to myself, if I'd be a drug addict, I can't go out and say, well, I'm just going to go out and do a hit of this or a ball of this or a couple of pills of that because I'm hooked on drugs. I'll just take one. If I was an alcoholic, I can't say, I'm just going to go out this weekend and have only 1 shot. I have made it my life's mission to understand 100% wholeheartedly I have to abstain. I have to. I can't moderate very well. I am an addict. I'm a sugar addict. So when I make things for other people, they don't know that the ingredients that I'm putting into the meatballs is all organic sauce, all organic spices, organic grass-fed beef, organic, and in some cases raw cheeses, the good, the healthy things that are better for their bodies, but they don't know. I know. I've seen going to a potluck. I remember this so vividly, going to a potluck, and one of my friends brought a thing of meatballs, and we kind of giggled because she brought her crock pot full of meatballs, and I bought my crock pot full of meatballs. Her crock pot full of meatballs was basically the Sam's Club bag of frozen meatballs, dump it in there, pour in the ragu sauce, stirry. Okay, we got a crock pot full of meatballs. Those people that were eating her meatballs as opposed to mine were saying, what is the difference in these? They're so good. If they would have, say, 10 of hers, they would only have 5 of mine because mine were full of fat and full of protein, and they were satiating. They weren't full of the garbage that is in many processed and pre-made foods. So, in closing, because I'm looking at my timer going, holy cannoli, it's 26 minutes. In closing, I know that if I can help somebody by telling them, isn't it better to be healthy and live a healthy life than to maybe have the possibility of someday being told you have a diagnosis, whatever that diagnosis is? I don't want a diagnosis. I don't ever want to see that 363 pound ever on my scale ever again. The Mayo weight charts say that for a person of my height, my stature, I should be 170 to 175 pounds. That's kind of thin, in my opinion. But that's what the charts say. I'm cool with being 199. I'm cool with being in the 100 club group. I'm fine with it. I'm fine if you and I are going to be going out to dinner. I won't lambaste you and say, listen, so-and-so, you shouldn't be eating that because it's full of this, that, or the other. I won't do it. I'll happily eat my sugar-free food. I'll happily have a sparkling water with you as you're drinking your alcoholic beverage. I'll step outside with my sparkling water as you're having your cigarette. I used to be a former smoker, as a matter of fact. But I'm not going to go back and do the things that I know. Common sense. I know. There's too many of you people out there that have graduated college, right? That are book smart, but are you really brain smart? Are you really common sense? Do you really have it? Are you fed up with being your old, fat, listless, tired, crabby, mean self? Or do you want a better life? A better life to me is eating all meat-based products. But I understand if I go to a wedding that I might have a fork full of my husband's wedding cake to celebrate. I don't want it. I don't want cake in my house because I know the effect that it has on me. I need to abstain. So that's me. That's how I went from 363 pounds to 225 pounds today, and 26 more pounds to go to get back into 199, into Wonderland. Thanks for listening. If you've listened this far and you've liked anything that I've said, if I spoke to you, if I said a truth to you, go down, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, subscribe. I don't talk about 30-minute videos all the time. I really don't. I'd rather not. I like the shorts. That's what I'm really involved in these days. So I'll try to keep it short. So everybody, live well, be well. God love you. I love you. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Happy Mother's Day to the mothers. God bless. Cheers. Jerry out.